Okay, is this thing on? Yes, it would seem it is. Doing 5 cards today. Let's clear the answer screen and start off again. What capital city can offer you a subway ride 7,000 feet up? It feels like it should be one of the South American cities. And it might be Mexico City, it might be Medellin, it might be Lima, or somewhere down there in Peru. I'm going to go with Mexico City. I mean, I may be very wrong here, but there you go. What Stanley Kubrick film starring Jack Nicholson was adapted from a Stephen King novel? Why? Wow, an entertainment question I should really know the answer to. I do know the answer to this. Just, my brain is freezing. What's the name of the film? When I watched it, I really liked the carpets. In the Overlook Hotel. This is going to bug me now. If you ask me any other time, I'd know this. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Okay. Okay, next question. What home-based army went under the initials WLA in World War II? That would be the Women's Land Army, I suspect. Who did Trevor Nunn take over from at the Royal Shakespeare Company in 1968? I'm going to say Olivier, because that's always the thing to say about this sort of stuff. Yes, Inder, it is indeed that answer, now that you've said it. What fear would prevent a dromophobic person from taking a job as a lollipop lady? Ooh. I mean, children, sweets, cars. I wonder why. Well, yeah. Let's say cars. And what Welsh soccer club plays its matches at the racecourse ground? I'm going to say Wrexham, which is, may or may not be right, to be honest. Okay, let's see what the answers are on this card. It is indeed Mexico City, which has a subway at 7,000 feet. As Inder guessed, it is The Shining, which is a Kubrick film and is famously based on a. Yeah, as I said, I'm going to kick myself about that one. Like, I know it. The Women's Land Army is indeed the WLA. Peter Hall took over. Well, Peter Hall was before Trevor Nunn. A fear of crossing the road is dromophobia, which, yes, is a bad thing for lollipop lady. And Wrexham indeed do play at the racecourse ground. I probably only know that because of the Ryan Reynolds connection. So that is 3 out of that 6. So let's update that. Clear the board again. Indeed, one point each in there. Okay, next card. What is the main river of Israel? Don't know. Actually, no. What was it? It's the entire John the Baptist thing means there was a famous one, isn't there? I still don't know. And I'm not upset, I don't know. Who had a 1984 hit with Like to Get to Know You Well? Don't know, really don't like music questions. It's not that surprising. What American president ironically said the ballot is stronger than the bullet? Reagan? What English writer was appointed controller of customs and subsidy of wool, skins and hides in 1374? I mean, that's interesting. Who's the person who wrote the English? So it's the Pilgrim's Tale. Whoever that is, again, I'm blanking. Again, art and literature not my favourite subject, it must be said. What is a skiving ergophobic afraid of? Work, one assumes. And finally, what alcoholic drink is produced in the bodegas of Jerez de la Frontera? That will be sherry. As good friends have always talked about, we should really go to Jerez at some point. We've done Porto, but not done Jerez yet. Not that I really drink sherry, to be honest with you. Okay, answers. The Jordan, yes, is the river in Israel. Howard Jones is the person who sang that song. Abraham Lincoln is the one who said the ballot is better than the bullet or something. Chaucer is the person who had that job and was an English writer, and I think Chaucer is the person who wrote the Pilgrim's Tale, or whatever it's called. An ergophobic is indeed phobic of work, and sherry is indeed made in Jerez. So that is 2 out of that 6. So it gives me a total of 5. Clear the board. Next card. What country extends down both sides of the Gulf of California? Is this Mexico or the USA? And even, then again, also, is it even that bit? I think this is Mexico, so let's go for Mexico. I think it's a sticky out bit. Who starred in and won an Oscar for directing the 1981 film Reds? Not a sausage. What soldier did Winston Churchill refer to with the words, "In defeat he's unbeatable, in victory unbearable"? Montgomery? What literary character, on first meeting his partner, deduced that he had just returned from Afghanistan? That is Sherlock Holmes, I believe. What family of tree does the cork tree belong to? What do you mean by family? What do you mean by tree? What do you mean by cork? I'm going to say olive tree because it looks like one. Which of the playing card kings appears in profile? Let's say spades, because spades are the most interesting suit. Okay, let's see what the answers are for that. Mexico is indeed on both sides of the Gulf of California. Warren Beatty was the person who directed Reds. Field Marshal Montgomery was the person that Churchill whined about. Family history suggests that one of my granddads was Montgomery's driver in World War II for some things, and they certainly talk about him being mentioned about being naked. It's the whole thing. If it's true, I don't know. But there you go. Sherlock Holmes knew that Watson had been in Afghanistan. The cork tree is an oak, supposedly, and then the King of Diamonds is in profile. Yeah, there's a whole thing about how playing cards look. I didn't know in the set. I didn't know playing cards had a canonical appearance / rendering. It would seem they do. Like if you watch a lot of poker, there's all things about what things should look like when you're doing bad things for the cards. So what was that? That was. I got 3 of those, didn't I? So I'm up to 8 for this set of cards. So, okay, let's clear that. Come on, this. What African country is Bulawayo in? Bulawayo is in Zimbabwe. I believe I have been to Bulawayo. I've certainly been to Zimbabwe. We made when we went in and out of Zimbabwe. We made mistakes of going through entirely the wrong border crossings. One was hilariously just a dirt track. The other one was the busiest one ever. And the worst thing about the busy one was because my dad was old, he got passed through all the queues without having to wait. They didn't bring me along, however, so I ended up in a queuing for like 2 hours, and then Dad just had to sit in the sun in the car instead. So I don't know if it was any better. What farm animal was at the centre of the 1985 Maggie Smith film A Private Function? Let's say pig. What was the first year this century in which Britain declared war on Germany? So, obviously this is the 20th century, because these cards were written in 1986-ish. So, did we? We must have declared war for the First World War. Or this is a trick question, one of the two. I'm trying to think, was there a war before that? Because up until the First World War, the Germans were mostly our allies, because after all, we were ruled by Germans. 1914. What poet penned Home Thoughts from the Sea? Don't know. What is the science of study of human antiquities called? Archaeology, which I am going to fail to spell entirely, but I will let the spell checker do it for me. But I'm not sure. Anyway. How many stripes does Signal toothpaste have? I think that's 3. Okay, let's see what the answers are. Ooh. Zimbabwe is indeed where Bulawayo is. A pig is the farm animal in a private something or other. 1914 is indeed when Britain first declared war on Germany in the 20th century. Robert Browning was the poet. Archaeology is indeed the study of human antiquities, and there are 5 stripes in Signal toothpaste. So I got 4 of those. I'm an above average go on this one. So woohoo. Okay, cool. So, last card. Let's see if I can get above 15. Okay, so what am I doing? Let's delete this. Okay. What is Britain's largest railway station? By what metric? Clapham Junction has always just said it's the busiest. You can. There was a lot of platforms. I mean, was it? It's certainly one of the London ones, I suspect. Well, maybe not again. What metric? Coming because Waverley and Edinburgh's quite big. I'm going to say Clapham Junction. I suspect the answer is probably St Pancras, but not St Pancras. What city's police force employed Dirty Harry? San Francisco. What Wild West outlaw was shot in the back by John Ford in 1882 for a $10,000 reward? Is that the outlaw Josie Wales? Or is it knowing it? Because there's a film about this, about the coward John Ford recently, and I'm sure it was, no, maybe the Josie Wales. Anyway, that'll do. What Conan Doyle sends the villain to his sticky end in Grimpen Mire? But I don't know. Hound of the Baskervilles? What pet animal's female is called a queen? Um, uh, I don't know. Because bees are not pets, after all. And all bees are mostly female, apart from some of the... not dogs, not cats. What other do people have as pets? I don't know. They really had pets. I'm going to say goldfish, just because that's the only pet I've ever had, and it didn't last very long. What did Harvey Smith do at Hickstead that got him into trouble? So, this would have been show jumping. Harvey Smith is a rider, maybe, I think. Was it whipping his horse too much? Okay, let's see how I did on this card. Waterloo is the biggest station. I should know that. I spent nearly all of my life using it. And indeed, it is the one up from that is too big. Let's make that smaller. Dirty Harry did indeed work at San Francisco's. Jesse James is the outlaw. So yes, the film was The Outlaw Jesse James and The Coward. Something like that. The Hound of the Baskervilles is indeed the Conan Doyle thing. The cat's female is called a queen. Who knew? And then Harvey Smith gave the V sign. It's quite hilarious watching TV for like American stuff. Who think that giving the V, well, who don't have the same connotation of the V sign as we do in the UK. Like we all think it's very offensive. They think it's like showing peace and love or something. Whereas we all, well, it being a sign of us pissing off the French, like most things in the UK, from the English. Let's piss off the French or something. So that was 2. So not a good set of cards. So Ender says Waterloo kind of surprises me. It's big, but I only picture about 8 platforms, excluding the underground. So at the time this card was written, it would have been 16 platforms and was quite a large span. Obviously, there's now the extra platforms taking it up to 22 because of what used to be the Eurostar terminal. Maybe it was actually no, it would have been 18 platforms before the Eurostar terminal. So the Eurostar terminal took it to 22. I think. Been a while since I've been there. And also, it depends if they include Waterloo East, which they shouldn't. And yes, obviously there's the Underground as well, which is Northern Line, Bakerloo. No, is it Bakerloo? No, it's not. It's definitely the Northern Line, the Jubilee. No, it's all 3 of those, isn't it? So yeah, had quite a lot of Underground as well. But yeah, at the time of writing, it might have been. It's one of the reasons why Clapham Junction ends up being one of the busiest, because it has Waterloo and Victoria feeding into it mostly. Anyway, yes, it's Jubilee, Northern, and Jubilee. Was the Jubilee built then? Actually, no, they wouldn't have had the Jubilee at that point, would it? Again, I spent I come from deepest, darkest Surrey, so Waterloo is the station I know the best originally. Oh yeah, Waterloo and City. Yes, that'd be it as well, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's not a great set of cards, but we did okay. See you all tomorrow, I think. Maybe. See ya. Bye.